Okay, so here is another very important setting, and it's called producer retries. So basically, when you have transient failures, the developers are expected to handle these exceptions in the callback. Otherwise, the data will be lost. And so an example of a transient failure will be not enough replicas exception, for example. So there's a retry setting which allows you to just not deal with handling exceptions on your own. And so basically the retry setting by default is 0. And this is why in the callback, we look at whether or not we receive an exception from the broker. But you can increase this retries to a really high number. For example, integers.max value. And this will allow you to basically indefinitely retry on Kafka your send up until it succeeds. Now, in case of retries, basically, there is a chance that the message will be sent out of order. Basically, because messages get requeued for send, and so you can have a small inversion of messages. And so the reason is, if you rely on key-based ordering, that could be a huge issue, right? Because now we don't have the same guarantee that all the same keys go to in order to the same partition. They will still go to the same partition, but they may not be in order anymore. So to control this behavior, there is a setting called max in-flight requests per connection. And this setting basically controls how many requests can be made in parallel to any partition. And so by default, that setting is 5, which explains why you can have some reordering. But you have to set it to 1 if you want to strictly ensure ordering. Obviously, by setting it to 1, you may get an impact on the throughput. Now, I understand it's pretty advanced and those are 2 settings and they're pretty obscure, but if you use Kafka greater than 1.0.0 for brokers and clients, then there's a better solution that I will introduce to you in the next lecture. If not, then be careful. If you set retries to a high number and you want to keep ordering, then you absolutely need to set max in-flight requests per connection to 1. Okay, for those who want a better solution and a simpler one for Kafka 1.0.0, then see you in the next lecture.